Tamara, and the theme for 2026 is Open at the Top. For the month of July, we have been exploring the theme of whole no matter what. And the title of our talk today is What We Believe About Wholeness. And it will be given by our wonderful spiritual director, Charlene. We are so happy that you took some time out of your day to join us. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please drop them in the chat, and Charlene will be glad to include those when we get to the prayer portion of our service, which we call affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. Why? Because it all starts right here, how you think. Change your thinking, change your life. So with that, just sit back, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy our opening video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And now it's time for the meditation portion of our service. And I was doing some reflecting on our theme for the month of July. I am whole no matter what. So today I chose for you the I am meditation. So here we go. As always, just sink a little deeper into your chair. Notice if you have any tension that you're carrying in your shoulders or your neck, in your feet, your legs, and just tell them to relax. This is the time where we take a pause, a sacred pause from our busy, busy days. And let's take a deep breath in. Hold. And release. And again. And hold. And release. So So we use meditation to just sink into the now. There's no to-do list of what you have to do later today. There's no concerns or regret or anxiety about what you didn't get done yesterday. We're just going into this present moment, this sacred now. And here in the now, there is no yesterday. There is no tomorrow. There is only now. This precise moment, this little slice in time. And I told you this is the I am meditation. So you can just listen to the words that I say as I guide you through this, or you can repeat after me when I make these I am statements. Try it out. Declare these things for yourself as well. So the first one, I am whole. I am whole and complete, divinely made, perfect in my imperfections. I am whole. No matter what I might hear in social media or from those ads, those magazines, if you still read magazines that try to tell us something different. Oh, you need that to be perfect. You need this to be complete. No, that's not the truth. I am whole no matter what, just as I am. I don't have to change a thing. So what does that stand? I am blessed. I have all that I need. Just as I never, ever had to worry about my next breath. Will there be air? Is there going to be air for the next breath? No. We live in a world of abundance. There's enough air, water, food. I have a roof over my head. I have air conditioning, which, depending on where you live, it's been really important this month. I have friends who surround me. I have a wonderful global community that support me. I have everything that I need. I am so very blessed. One more. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. My hands are open. My heart is open. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive love. And there is no limit on the love that I can give to others. The bucket is constantly overflowing. There's no worries of shortage. I can give love and I can receive it in return. And as we end our meditation, just notice how those statements, I'm whole, I am perfect, I am blessed, I am worthy. Just notice how those just resonate with you because they are the absolute truth. And you can just sit in that knowledge, sit in this peaceful state as we move over to music by Soul Pajamas.
This is a a song by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin, and it is a spiritual mind treatment in song. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. All I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Now I let it go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free, and so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. Amen. 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 This is what I know.
Wow, what a beautiful song. That is actually a prayer. I just really needed that. And Tamara, that I am meditation. Very amazing. So, wow, I just got to catch up to me. Good morning and welcome to week 3 of the whole no matter what talk. This is the monthly theme. And I love how our progression goes. If you've been coming here for a while, you know that we start the first week, we start talking about, well, the personal wholeness. Who am I as a whole person? And then the second week that Melinda just gave was the outer vision of wholeness. Who am I as outside representing as wholeness? And she did a lot of talk about life being a mirror. Very, very good talk. If you haven't already listened to it, go back to our archives and listen to that one. And today's title, with the idea of what we believe about wholeness, that's the community, the collective inner. And then, of course, next week, we'll talk about how the collective shows up outside as belief about wholeness. So we have to get into it. Who's the we? What? So there's a lot of ways we could sort of segment and map out who is this we of which we speak. So let's start with CSL as a global organization, because they do have a what we believe on our website. And as you know, or may not know, this whole movement, this whole science of mind or spiritual living kind of consciousness was it kind of grew about 100 years ago. How it grew from I don't think it's a mistake that you look back on the industrial age, how things started becoming more and more possible. In a very short amount of time, we figured out air travel, we figured out cars, we figured out automation of those things. So a lot of people could have a lot of things at scale because factories were created. And then there was a couple wars to really kick that into gear. And during that time, people were waking up to, wait a minute, maybe I don't have to follow the scripted, organized religion. Maybe the ancient and ageless wisdom over the millennia, maybe what they had to say is actually relevant, actually palpable now. And that was 100 years ago. So as we look back and we see what this organization, this now, it's organized, but it's not a religion, it's a spiritual teaching. Let's see what they have to say about what we believe, the we that I'm talking about, what we believe about wholeness. And right here it says and if you go to csl.org and what we believe, you'll see all of the different things. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. So that kind of says it all, spiritual wisdom and experience. In other words, don't just believe us because we told you. Why not take these principles? Which principles? Well, if you were here for the opening sacred space, we were talking about how the high principles, the pillars of study, meditation, circulation, we give back and we receive. So we have these principles that are overarching, and we didn't think of them, but we definitely embrace them as the high way of living, the high choices that we can make to elevate ourselves and each other through spiritual living. This is the place this is the we of which we speak. So when I talk about this, this idea for the talk where we say what we believe about wholeness, interconnected with all life, which means all people, even those people, yes, even those people, because those people are us. We are those people. There's no separation, although we love to buy into the fact that there is some separation, because we certainly look separate from each other, don't we? But it's a myth. It's a myth. We live in a world, in fact, that really kind of elevates the idea of the solo act. How many times have you seen, oh, I'm self-made? No one is. No one is. And the isolation that, especially in the West, that we encourage each other to just go into isolation because reasons, fill in the blanks. And then you come out of this zeitgeist. Tamara was talking about it, where sometimes you're on social media and the advertisers would love for you to think that you're not enough. But if you act now, you will be enough. Just buy this thing, do this thing, follow this thing, donate here, give this thing, become something, because you're not quite there yet. And then the most awakened part of us has a feeling of, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. You just pointed out a difference. In fact, you created a difference so that you could step in and say, do you want us to solve that for you? The joke in the back of my mind that really wants to be said has to do with some of these diseases that some companies will come up with, and they'll give it a name and they'll convince you this is a problem. And all you have to do is take this medicine. And then if you hang around on the ad long enough, there's all this fine print about all the other things that could go wrong because you tried to solve a problem that you had to be convinced that you had so that you can solve it. But don't forget, side effects may include, and right? It's kind of interesting. And at the same time that we're being sold this, there's a part of us that's saying, wait a minute, we are all one. So how does it all fit? How do we live like we belong to one spiritual family or one family? We are all one, when at the same time we're allowing all of this input to come to us that says we're separate, we're not good enough. And it's just really just a dichotomy. It's a conflict. It's one of those dissonance. It's a cognitive dissonance. So we're trying to find our wholeness while being isolated, which is kind of like trying to find the ocean by going to the desert, removing yourself and going to the desert so you can find the real ocean. So no, it doesn't make any sense. So I think we should just stop trying to heal everything by ourselves, because being by ourselves is causing problems that can be only healed by being in community. The very separation of ourselves, it's what's causing the problem. So the idea is that you're exhausted, but it's not because you're working so hard. It's because you're trying to lift everything yourself. That's the real problem. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you weren't meant to do any of this alone. And if you were, all of these other ways that nature works in concert with each other, those things wouldn't be yelling at us. Like, we have nature yelling the idea of cooperation, yelling at us. There's no elevated instance where this one thing separated itself from everything else and it did much better. Have you watched the nature videos? It doesn't work out well for the one who hangs behind the group. And I get it. We start thinking, I need to stand out and I need to individualize myself so that I can be special from this group, because I'm not like those other people. And the problem is that I've talked about this a couple times, we've taken all the things we fear and we cast it upon other people. And then we use that as a reason to run away, because we can convince ourselves with the brain, with the mind that's not connected to the heart. We convince ourselves that there's a problem, it's out there, and all I have to do is get away. But then we find ourselves by ourselves, and then the problem is we can't heal ourselves by ourselves. We need each other. So I think what I'm trying to say is, maybe you're in the wrong group. Maybe you're in a room or a group of people who don't really see you. And therefore, when they do turn toward you, is it a lot of negativity? Get in a different group, man. That's not cool. If you feel terrible around the people that you're hanging around, I don't blame you for wanting to get away. But the answer is not get away, stay away. People are terrible. The answer is get away and go toward the people who you want to be like, the people that you would love to have them, some of their high parts reflected in you. And then you can also give to that and have your high parts reflected in them. And this is what nature is teaching us. Remember what I was telling you about the symphony, about how everyone who plays a different instrument is sitting in a certain part of this orchestra setting, and there's a director who knows exactly what should come in and how to do a crescendo and how to do the quiet and how to do it just right. And we're going to need every little sound because everybody has a part to play in this beautiful cacophony, which individually would not have the same umph as it has as the big group. This is the idea, and that all we have to really do is try not to sound exactly like each other, not to play exactly the same instrument as each other, play slightly differently so that it just, when it all comes up, it's just so beautiful with all the differences coming through as a whole fabric of amazing sound. So your uniqueness, it turns out, was no reason to separate yourself from the group. Your uniqueness is exactly what's needed in the moment so that you too can add to the beauty of what this life is. Don't separate yourself. Get in there and do your part in only the way that you can. So that is why anyone who wants to find their spiritual oneness, definitely do that. And you definitely can do it in your own place. You separate to connect with the divine, but then you emerge out of that and into the ability to give and to add to the beauty of nature. I talked also about the woods, how you go into the woods, and oh, isn't it interesting? In a beautiful forest, a sacred forest, all of the trees standing individually. Sure, they're standing individually on the surface. But remember, we talked that if you went down under the ground and you looked, you would see that all of the roots of the trees are connected. And the WWW, the World Wood Wide Web, no, all right, I'll keep my day job, seriously. The Wood Wide Web, it's connecting all of the trees. And when you have a sapling, it pulls what it needs from the root system. And then you have another tree. You remember we discussed that if one tree sensed something dangerous was happening, it would send a signal out, and all of the requirements needed would happen underneath the root system. I know they look like separate, standalone, independent beings, but underneath there's a fabric. There's the undergirding under the soil in the darkness that connects them all. So they're sharing water, they're sharing nutrients, even anything struggling will pull a little more from what's available. And I love this because it's not like one of the trees that has a lot, let's call it the billionaire tree. It does not have to consciously send a few more packets of nutrients to the poor little sucker on the side. It's all right, I'm giggling to myself because my brain is giving me all kinds of imagery, but the tree that has a lot of nutrients automatically just emits nutritious goodies. And since it's an interconnected system, if there's any lack or limitation happening in another direct, let's say sapling, then it would automatically pull more from the overflow that's happening from those that have a lot. It's just like our veins. So let's leave the very nice metaphor of how the trees in the forest appear to be individuals, but they are one whole living, breathing, it's a living being, and it breathes. Let's move to the body, because the body is something we all can get with what goes on in the body. We've had biology class, and we know that the heart pumps on a regular basis nutrients throughout the body. And we know that your body is a closed system, meaning that circulation can happen because it's like the cabin air pressure when you're flying in a plane, isn't it? Isn't it a lot like that? Where if there's a breach, or if all of the energy just kind of flies out of that way, your system's closed. And so if you had an organ that was kind of needing a little extra zhuzh, then your body just knows how to deliver the nutrients to that area. And when it does too much, then that's when we have some imbalances in our systems that then have to be healed. But imagine if one of your organs decided, you know what? Forget these people. I want to be independent. I'm on my own. I'm going to go and do something separate because I don't want to. That's a problem. This is not good. And if that does happen, unfortunately, let's say you're out in the cold and you have some extremity and then it gets frostbitten. I mean, there's no coming back from that if you let it go too far. I think you're all hearing my drift. We are all part of something bigger than just us. And there's something that happens when we start believing the untruth that we are separate, nobody gets us. It's the negative voice in our brains that's our worst fears that causes us to experience, even if it's only in our mind, a sense of ostracizing, where nobody likes me, nobody loves me. And that is the worst mental state for a human being, to be isolated from others. We are meant to be with one another. And so now, if you're having problems, if you're thinking, well, I've had to isolate for reasons, I've had to do this. Well, for a long time, people have been studying this idea of empathy. And empathy used to be considered a personality trait that you're either born with or you're not born with it. And those people who find themselves ostracized, or they take themselves out of a social construct because they're tired of being hurt, or whatever story that we're telling ourselves, they might judge themselves and say, well, I just don't have it. I can't see that I'm connected to everybody else. I don't see that. Also, I wasn't born with empathy. Well, it turns out that science proved that we were wrong. So there's a study, 2025, they did a study in USC that empathy is trainable. Trainable. Empathy is actually a muscle. So the study showed that when we are cooperative in an environment that makes us want to help someone, one person's success in this world benefits other people's success. Then they found that we're biologically wired to want success for someone else when we feel that we are going to mutually benefit from it. And so doesn't this make sense? If you think about that forest floor and the forest floor of we're all connected, then I imagine that even the sapling wants that big billionaire tree to be successful because it makes all of them successful. So right now, in fact, there's a community strong together movement. It just started a few months ago in May 2026, community strong together. People are intentionally choosing unity over division and faith over fear. So they're looking at connecting with other people, even if on the surface we seem nothing alike. Well, we know that's just surface. That's not really the truth of who we are. We're all truly connected. So they're actually practicing the empathy muscle. I want to call it, they're doing they're going to the empathy gym. You know, the point is that when you put stress on your muscle, over time, that muscle gets bigger because you're training that muscle. And how do you train it? You put more weight on it than it's used to. And then while you're sleeping and with the right nutrients, that muscle says, uh-oh, you know what? I'm going to buff up because next time she lifts that weight, I'm going to be able to do it. And you just keep putting stress on a muscle. Over time, you'll build a bigger one. You can just do things more simply. It's easier if the more you do it. Empathy is like that too. So they put themselves in scenarios that initially cause them to, I want to see that person as other, but I'm doing this on purpose. I'm building my empathy muscle. It's amazing what you can talk yourself into. And so it's science discovering a hack on how to get people to give a you know what about each other. So what if it were a muscle? Are you willing to go to the empathy gym? I'm just saying. I think that's quite interesting. In fact, I want to invite you to practice the presence of the divine and then let the wholeness that we connect to, because I guess I have to say that if we don't practice the presence individually, we are just going through the motions and hoping it all works out. There's not as much conviction, there's not as much gravitas to what we're doing as when we sit with the divine and we just know that there's a spiritual practice inherent in a community organization like ours that will invite us to practice empathy with each other. Sitting with ourselves, knowing that we're connected, then rising up and noticing, I am connected to you. I do hear what you're saying. And I know that when I hear you talking, I can jump right into the, oh, well, let me play devil's advocate. Or maybe I could just listen and practice my empathy. So pulling us out of our comfort zone, it starts with, as you're walking through life, and just in the next few hours, notice what you pay attention to and notice diversity. Does it exist in your world? Do you have people, and they could be on social media. It could just be who you're following, who pops up on your feed, or maybe put that phone down and go out to the grocery store. What do you notice? Is your community full of people who are walking around and people who are rolling around? Does it include people who are married and people who decide not to be married? Is it full of people who are on all parts of the gender identification spectrum? Does it include, just keep going. So diversity doesn't just mean the color of your skin, it means how you show up in the world. Does it include people who may have developmental disabilities on many different visual levels or the invisible spectrum, right? Look, notice what is there and notice what's not there and just take it in. And then because you're watching and you're looking around, I want you to send nutrients. Send nutrients. What is a nutrient? It's a smile. It's acknowledgement. How many people expect to be ignored? Say hi to them, and not in a way that demands that they see you back. Just say hi and don't, a little non-committal is fine. Just a little nod, see people, interact with them and see if they want to interact with you. Little nutrients. So you're sending this through the root system of humanity. And that's just on the social level. If you want to take it one level deeper, get online and find some organization that you can send $5. Feed someone for $5. There's all kinds of places that would love a $5 donation. I'm not talking a big gesture. You don't have to come up with a check the size of a Volkswagen and give it to someone. Little tiny baby steps. And what you're doing is you're demonstrating God, the divine, in action. You are building the world that we want. We build the world we want, but not by building higher walls to keep everybody out. That's not the way to do it. We set up really big tables so more people can sit. And so instead of keeping people out, we're inviting people in, and watch how who we think we are grows bigger and bigger. In fact, the most radical spiritual thing that we can do right now is not even related to meditating. It doesn't have cushions or incense or om. It's just you seeing other people and acknowledging their presence. Gratitude also helps. Just saying thank you to the people who come and take away the stuff from the table in front of you. Thank you. Just say thank you. Letting the divine show through you. In fact, not waiting for a special time, not waiting for it to drop in your lap and say, it's time to be spiritual. Stop it. Just all the time, every time, when, however you're showing up, notice what you're gravitating toward and notice what else you haven't paid attention to. The awareness is really all we really need. So at the end of the day, next time you walk past a tree or hear a piece of music, I want you to remember all the little pieces that made that music what it is, that makes the tree what it is, and then start thinking about what makes you who you are. You're an unrepeatable, divine note. And you're not meant to play by yourself. You're not meant to play alone. You're meant to play in a cacophony of beauty, and you're already doing it because you're here. And I just want you to take that energy and ripple it out and watch how the world becomes a beautiful piece of music in a beautiful forest. I don't want to leave out any of the metaphors. Oh, the body, and circulating all the nutrients through the body of the divine. All right, let's go into prayer. Let me check the chat to see if anybody has any prayer requests. So in this moment, I'm just simply taking time to say thank you. The sense of gratitude that I feel for having the awareness of my oneness with all that is, knowing that there can be nothing else except God, being God as me and as you and as every single being that's in the sound of my voice. This is God in action. It's the universe expressing itself through in and all things. So with this unity and this oneness, I speak my word that right in this presence, there is all of the highest and the best. That right here, right now, there's love, there's abundance overflowing, there's life, there's wholeness. And the wholeness extends beyond that which we can see. And in this moment, knowing that the wholeness extends beyond the visible world, I speak my word for Paul, Tamara's father, who made his transition, and that I'm blessing Paul right now as he is on his journey on the other side of the very thin veil. That even though he is not anymore in the visible world, that he is still felt. His impact is still vibrating through those who love him and who are blessing him on his journey, wherever he is on the other side, knowing that he is loved beyond belief, that his impact reverberates on this planet long after he's been here. And this is what I know is true for each and every one of us, that even as we sit, even as we breathe, even as we participate, we still have time right here, right now to make that big difference, to just let our small ideas of who we thought we were, just let them go. They're nothing. That is fear disguised as logic, letting it go. And we step into the wholeness of who we are. We trust that we follow the divine idea of ourselves, and we give fully, loudly, and proudly, knowing that those who can receive it will receive it, and our job has been done. And it isn't even ours, it's the divine moving in and through and as us. So it must be all right. So I'm so grateful knowing that this is the truth, knowing that all is unfolding perfectly under divine order. And it gives me a sense of gratitude and absolute joy, as I can't even help but giggle as I see the world, knowing that it's all perfectly divine, right action happening right now. And so I release my word into the law, knowing that, oh, chef's kiss, it is done. I release my word into the law. I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
Oh, she did. Well, this is one of my favorite songs that Dan wrote. Just love it. A grain of sand, a ray of light. The ocean floor is dark as night. A grove of redwoods in the sun. A planet home for everyone. A tiny seed, a single grain. The ocean in a drop of rain. You're in the world, and while that's true, the whole world lives inside of you. You are one with the universe. The cosmos is in you, within every cell. Consider outer space, beyond the Milky Way. You are all of it as well. You're of the stars and with the moon. Song of the sea, cry of a loon. Everything known and unknown. The stars at dawn, the rising sun. You are one. with the universe. The cosmos is in you, within every cell. Consider outer space, beyond the Milky Way. You are all of it as well. You are one with the universe. The cosmos is in you, within every cell. Consider outer space, beyond the Milky Way. You are all of it as well. You are all of it as well. You are all of it as well.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Soul Pajamas. What a perfect song to follow the message that Charlene gave us to tie in with our theme of whole no matter what and what we believe about wholeness. All right, folks, now is the time that we practice the law of circulation and we acknowledge the donations that you send into CSL Leesburg. Because you give, you are able to receive. It all works as the plants deliver oxygen and carbon monoxide and all that. It's all an equal exchange, and everything is all connected. So because you give, we are able to do what we do for our Sunday service, bring in guest musicians like Dan and Aaron, Soul Pajamas, and also offer classes and workshops. And we also tie to our home organization that supplies the materials that we use. And we're always looking for organizations that share our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. Why? Because once again, it's all connected, right? So as you can see on the screen, there are many ways to give. You can always go to our website. Odds are, if you're a regular here at CSL Leesburg, you've already found a way that works for you. All right, now I'd like you to join me in the blessing of the gifts. Here we go. Say it with me. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right. What announcements do we have, Charlene? She's shaking her head. Nothing exciting going on. Stay tuned. We'll tell you about upcoming classes and workshops. Hopefully you're enjoying some of the apps that Charlene has made available to us. If you need more information on that, just hang around afterwards. We do our little virtual coffee hour, which we call Pearls. What resonated with you today? What did you hear during the meditation, the message, or the music? And you just want to talk some more about it. We also check in with each other. We like to find out, what movies are you watching? What books are you reading? What is inspiring you? What can you share with others? Again, celebrating the fact that we are all connected. We are one global family. If you have to run off, just stay for a few more moments while we do our closing affirmation. Here we go. Now, you know what I'm going to say next, right? I think Erin does. She's turning off her unmute. There she goes, right on cue. Thank you, Erin. How about you, Nancy? How about Reverend Charlene? How about others? Join us if you can. Here we go. I want to hear you. So, repeat after me. I am love.
I am
love.
love.
Nice, nice. I can see there's a lot of people who have unmuted. Good. All right, now the next one. Send this out to somebody in the room with you or somebody because we're all connected, guys. There's a theme with our message today. Send it out to somebody across the airwaves because we know that they can get that message. You can even point at your screen and send it out to people that you see who are here with us today. Without further ado, ready?
Yes.
You are loved.
You are love.
I love that. I love how it kind of reminds me of what Charlene was saying about the orchestra.
Yes.
A little part, and we all come in beautifully, and it makes this wonderful sound. All right, the very last one. Here we go. Our love sprinkles, reminding ourselves that it is all love. There's only love. Here we go. Ready? It's all love.
It's all love.
It is all love. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to join us. If you can, please stay, hang around with us. If not, know that we send you off with our love and our blessings, and we'll see you next week.
Yay.
And